Hello. Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are.
Okay.
We are international here, so different time zones. And yeah, I just want to say hello to everyone here before we start the session today. I'm super excited to getting started. It's a very special person, our guest, and yeah. But let's do our traditional hello to everyone. So, hey Chila, how are you?
Hello, Hugo. Hello, everyone who is joining us tonight. So I'm fine and looking forward to this conversation with Yara. So this will be my first time, I guess, with Yara virtually because I only met her in person. So that's a special occasion. So looking forward to it.
Excellent. Yes, that's totally true. I'm also very excited to have Yara here. We're gonna be, I have lots of questions to ask her, but let's continue here. Let me know about Pedro. Hey, Pedro, how are you doing, man?
Hey, hello everyone. Hello. Uh, it's very good to be here as well. For the same reason, uh, every time we met with Yara in during the events, it's always like in a rush because during the events the Yara is is in a very hard moment. It's hard to have a minute of her talk, and but yeah, I know that she's a lovely person as well. So she will have a very good conversation today, and yeah, I miss TDC a lot. I can say.
You are in Canada right now, right?
Yeah,
And Chile
it's
also
been 2 years now. So
2 years
it's been two
already.
years
Yeah.
that I don't participate in any TDC.
Mhm.
Mhm, mhm. Yes, and Chila, you also you are in Switzerland and you came here to Brazil and to
Yeah.
be on the TDC, right? The developer conference.
Yes, right. So twice I know Porto Alegre and São Paulo editions. So it was for me, of course, huge experience seeing how it's working, seeing how it's different from the conferences I was used to it before, and also because I was not only as an attendee, but we can maybe talk about later.
Cool, cool. And let me say hello to a omnipresent guy that has been traveling around the world and being present in most of places I get notifications at my social media. So hey Luis, how are you, man? Good to have you here
Hello,
today.
hello everyone. Yeah, so 3 weeks tour in US. I just I just came from Java One, so lots of great news. Learned a lot, knew lots of people, built relationship with lots of good developers and Java champions. It was uh, I don't have words to describe. It was an amazing opportunity. And yeah, and this conversation is another great opportunity because Yara has lots of experience. So I'm looking forward to talking with her. And talking about TDC, Pedro said that he's missing some TDCs, and I'm very lucky to go every year in more than one edition. And the thing is, these in-person events brings opportunities that we don't have when we are like this here online. For example, you didn't have enough time to talk with Yara, but in some TDCs I had the opportunity to have dinner with her and other speakers after the TDC. So in that moment, we can have real conversation, we can like build real relationships with this uh, amazing people from this kind of events. So yeah, this conversation is very special.
Yes, and if you see the people, the speakers, all the people that is involved in events of such aside as the developers conference. If you don't know, the developer conference is one of the largest developers. It's the largest developer conference in Latin America. So it's really a big impact and lots of references and on the field, on the development fields, being there, and you are around you are around it with lots of exceptional people in the country. And you, Thiago, how about you?
Hello everyone. I'm great and I'm very excited to hear more about this amazing subject. Like you said, TDC is the biggest event here in Latin America. I have already been in some of them and also online, and I totally agree with Luis. In person, it's much better. And yeah, it will be an amazing conversation.
Excellent, cool. And you, Igor, good to have you
Hey,
here.
hey, hi Yogo, hi guys. Pleasure to be with you guys here. Yeah, I had the opportunity of being on the last year TDC Summit São Paulo. Thanks to our omnipresent guy here, Luis, that has invited me to be in the mentorship hub. It was a great experience to be with the people in person, to meet you, Hugo, and Luis, and Bruno, and many other people that were there. Looking forward to being in person this year again at some edition, and it will be great to meet Yara and talk with her. As I've shared on LinkedIn, this is not just about tax. This is not just about career. This is also about business. Running out and managing an event like TDC, it's a complex business that moves lots of partnerships and places that you need to partnership with, and it moves a lot of careers, not for her own business or for her partners, but for us, for our own business that we do on these events. We tend to do business for our careers as well. We meet people from companies. I can put an example in my mentoring. There were a girl from a company that she was looking for people that wanted to work for foreign companies, because I was talking about international career, something that I do have a lot of experience on it. And this is connection. You meet people, you attend to a mentorship, to a talk, and if you're looking for some ways to evolve your career or to connect, you can even find these in this type of events. So, in not only that, but all the knowledge and the connection with people that you get when you're in an in-person event. So, looking forward to know the backstages of TDC with Yara. It will be very very interesting conversation for sure.
Excellent. Yeah, that's true. I'm also when I get in person on TDC, I I went. I don't know how many editions I went there, and when you go in many editions, you start to recognize people because sometimes you only meet these people on the events, and it's an amazing moment, right? To get
Yeah,
to follow up
Luis
with friends.
mentioned that he had dinner with Yara, and I had lunch with you and Luis. You
Yes,
remember?
yes, yes, man, that's cool. And yeah, I think that's the all the great things. At least I do come in my mind. It's meeting people and having great moments with them. I see also Andres. Hey Andres, great to have you here.
Luis.
If you're watching us on the chat, please type hi and where you're talking from, so we can also. Uh, have a conversation here. And he said that I would like to go this year.
Yeah,
Uh,
we
I
want
guess
you
I'm going.
here. We want you
Yes,
here. we need to do a out of the box live edition into the TDC. You remember?
Inside TDC, yes.
Yes.
So if you are, I don't know what is when you say I don't know if I will be able to make it. I don't know if what is what is the thing that will not allow you to come here, but we are all welcoming you, and it will be amazing if we can meet on the TDC this year. So before we start following Yara, how do what do you think I see that everyone here already been participated at least in one edition of the TDC, right? How have you at least for me, it was very interesting the evolution of the first EDC, my first EDC, and the other ones. So I started with the Belo Horizonte edition and went as a volunteer for the coordination part of the Java architecture track, and I end up meeting the Java champion there, and we start to get in touch because of the event, and that was the one of the things I probably never been able to talk with a Java champion before, uh, unless Bruno, because I have mentoring with Bruno. But beside that, that's a great opportunity for me, and I remember that I never talked a lot on the stage because I was very shy, and as I start to be part of the coordination, part of the volunteering in other activities, I start to get a courage to bring my own presentation. And how about your experiences here regarding to TDC? Go ahead.
Go,
Okay.
Pedro.
Okay. Yeah. I started. I think I went to one. I don't know when TDC started, but it was in 2000 age, 2000 decade that I participate on my first TDC, and at that time I was so I never thought like to give a talk or to do anything like that, because every time when we go to TDC we feel that uh, you feel that aura, there is all this thing, lots of sharing, lots of knowledge being shared, and lots of good presentations. And at the time we could go in any track. We didn't have this track differentiation, and this is and it was amazing for me. It was one, and then I started going, and time passed, and then this now this decade I was able to speak in a TDC, to give a talk, and then have some coordinations in some of them, uh, 3 or 4 of them, I don't remember how many. And there's a completely different experience in a coordination. As a speaker is a completely different experience. It's much easier to get in touch with all the other speakers and having this kind of conversations about during dinner or during lunch, right? And especially and during the coordination it's even better, because you see all the you choose what a track you're gonna have, right? So it's very, 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 very interesting. uh, there is lots of good experience you can have in a TDC in all of these phases. So yeah, I if you have opportunity to send a talk to a TDC, if you feel free to do so, because they are very open, and there is no uh, it's something very democratic. Everybody goes and has their own opportunity to have a talk, to have the talk, like analyze it and choose it and vote it, because it's not just one person who chose that, right? There is uh, uh, a bunch of steps that needs to go. So yeah, I do think TDC can give us lots of good opportunities and experiences.
Cool. I'm seeing some messages here. So I want to say hello to Renato Nóbrega and hello to Dani Cardoso as well. Uh, Andre said that he's looking forward to
Mm,
meet us,
that's
but
true.
he's just changed the jobs. Yeah, that's difficult one. Yeah, I have to ask days and time to go to prepare. Yeah, fair, Andres.
Yeah, I
Understand this
understand you.
moment is complicated, right? Igor, understand you.
Yeah,
Him.
yeah, I understand you. It's like it's right now. I'm with two new projects, and that's crazy. So I understand you.
I would pick here a moment just to share what is TDC for those never heard before, or it's not from Brazil probably because it's or Latin America because it's most famous here in the region.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, it's a now there's a lot of editions during the whole year. This year, 2026, will host 7 editions around Brazil. So it starts. It's closed now. It's on April 23 and 24. It's the TDC Summit, the edition that is focused on artificial intelligence. So it brings a lot of topics that is all around the AI usage and AI development. So if you are very focused on AI field, even if you are not, I think nowadays every field are somehow using AI, and you knowing how to use it effectively, I think it's one of skills that will make us a be step forward compared to others. So that's very important skill nowadays, right? And the other one will be hosted in Florianopolis, Rio de Janeiro, São Carlos, São Paulo, Recife, and Porto Alegre as well until December, right? So that. This is what TDC is. It's a huge event with a lot of topics. If you can, if you go to, I think there's already a page for the each event, but we can click here on the first TDC Summit. Uh, you can there's already some of the speakers that is bringing on the events, and you can see a lot of people here. And yeah, I think that's one of the largest or the largest event in Brazil. Maybe some recording that I can appear here. I don't know if I appear in this video. Um, so that's a incredible moment to get in touch, to get updated on the technology field, on the development field. Uh, cool. So what we have here? Oh, I think we have now. I think we talk a lot about TDC, a bit about TDC actually, and if you have if you it would be interesting if you can actually share with us here if you already being participated on TDC as part of the audience or as a speaker or other kind of collaboration like the coordinator. Please tell here on the chat so we can actually have have an idea about their experience. But now I just want to have an. I just want to introduce our guest here. I just want to call our guest here, and we are very happy to have her now. So I want to say hello to Yara Mascarenhas, who is the CEO of the Developer Conference and a really amazing community builder to the stage. So, hey Yara, how are you?
Hello, my friends. So good to see you here, you all. Thank you very much for having me here. It's a pleasure to talk to you guys and Celia as well. I see you with the t shirt. Thanks for wearing the t shirt. All the collaborators and TDC Lover as well. Thank you. I know you have been all fantastic, helping to promote and to stimulate people growing their careers, bringing vision, sharing knowledge. So it's awesome to be here. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Yara, and it's pleasure from us because yeah, you are the person that actually get united everyone here. I think we know each other in person because of TDC. We went there on the event and we end up meeting each of us. So yeah, it's a really amazing event.
That's
Uh,
the pleasure. That's the beauty of connecting people, creating platforms, and working with ecosystems. And all that came from the Java community process. All the idea of collaboration and having different communities that in the beginning they were competing communities, but they were collaborating at TDC. All that came from this Java community process, and I was seeing how they were building this amazingly all around the world. So that's exactly the feeling that we had at that moment, going to Java One and connecting people, making friends, and finding ways to collaborate to generate value for other people. So it's amazing to
excellent,
see you all here.
That's great.
excellent.
We already answered what was going to be my first question to you. This how TDC happened. It just came out from the GCP, since you mentioned.
Uh, yeah, more or less. I think for me, I was part of Java One was always a dream, right? So if you go
Mhm.
back, close your eyes, and remember, there were no lives, there was no YouTube, there was no LinkedIn, there was no Facebook, right? So if we go back to that times, the only way to really connect to those people was to go there and to speak with them. And so going to Java One was even more fantastic that is today, because we had less opportunities to connect to people. Right today, if you want, you can schedule a call, you can. So we had mailing lists. Everything goes used to work with the mailing list for each JSR and so on. So uh, going to Java One was very inspirational, and that energy that I get going there and seeing the new specs and talking to people, for me, it was like an energy for the entire year. When I used to go to Java One, I come and I had the articles, the interviews, and that high energy make me study for the entire year and share and to talk to other people. So the first thing was, I want to create that energy here in Brazil. I want my friends to feel the same emotion going to a conference, trying to be a speaker, finding people and all that. So the first idea came from for replicating what we felt going to Java One here in Brazil. That was the first point. Then we started building a Java conference, and the first moment we created the conference closed. So everyone was, global code instructor or friends, people that used to work for me or was very close. So we didn't have open process. And when I say that it came from Java One, from JCP, I mean that the governance process that we use today to run TDC, they were inspired in the way Sun used it to manage all the process for the
Oh, I
JCP.
see.
So, the way we have the committees, we have competitors collaborating because they have the same goal, but then they will compete on the specification. So those process that we brought to TDC, like having the Java track, the .NET track, the data track. And I remember when I was working at Accenture, you are a DBA, I am a developer. So we are in the different worlds. You are a .NET developer, I am a Java developer. We are enemies. So it was less collaboration and more, small fighting, provoking, and things like that. So in that sense, we saw our vision in that moment was we can't compete on what's the best language, but we should collaborate on building the
Mhm.
community. We have the same challenges and so on. So that's the part that was inspired on JCP that we brought to TDC.
That's
Yes,
amazing.
a lot of people don't know what GCP is and what GSRs are. So I think that's a very interesting topic to bring it closer to people, to make them understand how it is working, the whole process. And so I was very happy because last week I was at the GCP as a guest for presenting an ID, how to bring this whole ID closer to people, this to closer the whole GCP ID, what it means, how people can participate in it, because people are thinking Java is made by some people and you cannot influence how Java is being developed. But it is not the case. So you as a developer, you as another person, you have the means to influence that process. So that's why I was very happy to hear that you are talking about it. So now I understand it much better.
Yeah. Yes, because JCP, it's amazing. I think the way they could, and they still coordinate competitors to collaborate in for a bigger purpose, that is generate a specification that will
Yeah.
work and be cross-platform and bring the power of multi-tools for the platform. So JCP, it's really fantastic, right? It's something, it's the process around Java, it's my favorite part for the entire Java ecosystem and Java platform and so on. So I think the way the process used to build the everything is amazing. And I think Bruno was a very important person on making it possible for individuals to take part on JCP, on the JSRs. So, and also in the JCP. So, having the user groups with a more important role in the process was, a fight. It was something that someone fight to make it possible and to offer to user groups and the same space and the same spot and the same importance that big companies have. So having someone sitting as a user group, being able to discuss with IBM or Google or any other company that has a place there, I think it was a very important achievement for the community. So, and I think now we have more incentives for individuals to participate on the JSRs and keep this alive. So
Cool. Excellent. Uh, and I was, since you talked about how it started, I was curious in which year it was released, the first TDC version. It had some different name. I think you mentioned a Java conference, and I don't know if Java conference became TDC or if
no,
it
no,
is a whole new project you started.
it's a whole new process. We used it to have another event we called Profissão Java that was all about career. So,
Mhm.
we have all this discussion about career, but we used to have an entire event just to discuss career opportunities and all that. But TDC was started in 2007. So the first edition was in 2007, and not different from a baby. We do not expect 1 year to count, right? So when you have a baby, it's zero, and you just count on the next year. With a conference, that was the first edition. So in 19 years, we can do 20 editions, right? So we don't need to expect to wait to complete. So this year, 2026, we are doing the 20th edition for
Wow.
TDC. It's a
Wow,
very special
that's great.
moment, and being able to keep interesting, to keep updated, to keep making sense for the community, it's all because we have open process, right? Most conference that does not have open process, they will die before that. So
Cool. Excellent. Yes. So 27. Yeah. I was studying at in the
2007.
university. Crazy. Yes.
Yeah.
Um, I just want
Yeah.
to invite people in the chat. If you have any question that you want to bring here, please place on the chat. We can bring here to Yara. But yeah, go ahead. I think someone mentioned it. Luis?
I think Pedro.
Pedro. Go
Yeah.
ahead, Pedro.
Hey, Yara. How are you? I love to see you here. To see you here with us. And I am telling people here that I'm missing TDC so much after it's been 2 years that I can't go to a TDC. And but I remember that I think one of my first TDC was that I went was in 2009 or 2010. Uh, and I at that time I was giving this teaching the Academia Java in one of the global code uh, uh, in São José dos Campos. But in at that time I was just like going as a participant just to see the to watch the talks and everything. And after that, after many years that I started to have courage to send a talk and then start trying to get a to be a coordinator. And how do you see this kind of journey for every developer that goes to TDC and wants to give a talk and wants to work to grow as a developer with TDC's help?
Well, I think we all need a journey, right? So we see our careers, and then we start as an intern, and we, become a junior, and then we need to see the progress. So at TDC, thanks to the open process, we can offer this possibility for people. So it's very common, people that goes 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and then they take courage and they apply to be a speaker. Some people would take 5 years or 7 years, and then they would apply. And the possibility to apply to be a speaker is very important on this progress, on seeing this opportunity and keeping you willing to participate at the event, because otherwise few people, they would participate 10 years in the conference, and if they are not speakers, right? Because then you change jobs, you quit, you find another conference, or so on. So the core of community, people that really engage, are most people are the ones that are engaged in some part of the process. So as a speaker, as track organizers, as volunteers, or organizing the team inside the company, so they come with the bus and with everyone from their companies. So this is very important to keep people united and motivated for the next step. So becoming a speaker, and I'm proud to say that many speakers here in Brazil, they gave their first talk at TDC, and we are, we build these generations of speakers that empower, go to TDC, start, and then they get empowered, and then they apply to international conferences, to other conferences, and so on. So it's very important to have those spaces where you can try.
That's great, Yara. And a question that I have here for you: you went to Java One, you got that inspiration, and then you came with the idea of having something like that here in Brazil. And there we are going to the 20 20 editions of TDC, but how it was for you, because you told that you were doing a closed events, profissão Java, and you had a school that is global code, and how you moved from being a tech person to a business person in this tech field.
Okay, this is a hard question, but I didn't. I answered that the first question, but I didn't say thank you to Pedro. It's awesome, the story we wrote together, teaching people, and last in-person meeting I went for Java One. It was beautiful to see our, long time students from 2005, 2007 with us. So thanks for that journey, and I'm very thankful for so many great people sharing that project with us during so many years. So thank you very much, Pedro. Well, transitions are always hard, and I believe we are living a big transition right now from coding to spec driven design and all these AI. So transformations, they are always scaring, and we deny the change, and so on. So as an entrepreneur, I always had a lot of work to do in parallel to development. And you all know how hard is this, right? When you stop development and then you do another thing, and then you do a meeting, and then this is really, really hard to deal with. And development asks for concentration, asks for a 2 hours window for at least. So it was becoming harder and harder to be a good developer. And going to Java One was always a motivation, so I could go and I could study, and so on. But then in a certain moment, I was feeling very bad when I was on a group of people, and they were discussing technical stuff, and I was feeling a fraud. I was I don't know all that anymore. I didn't try that, I didn't study that, so I'm a fraud, and it's hard, and I don't know enough. And so in that moment, I got really upset, and I tried to study more, and to keep the discussions. And so it was a transition. I can't remember how many months I denied, or I tried to do both, until the moment I said I need to dedicate to that. So I don't know if it was in 2016 or 2017 that I really said I need to study business, I need to go to a business school, learn more on financial, or on digital transformation, on platforms. So I started to do more training and courses on these other skills that I needed to evolve. So it's hard, it's painful, and but
It's
it happened.
another journey. It's another journey that paid off, and you're just getting the results, and everyone is also getting results from your dedication, from the events that you have created and grown so much. So that's
Thanks.
also an inspiring business journey. It's not only about tech. It's a tech event, but not only about tech. So that's great.
And
Thank you
let
very
me,
much for being so kind.
Yeah, you're welcome.
yeah. there's no doubt that it is a successful path. Thinking about 20th year that TDC is running, it's a long run, and it's totally successful. I don't know the number of participants TDC have now, but I know it's huge, right? It's lots of
Yes,
people.
we already had 250,000 people participating in some event at TDC, so quite a million people. But and then, in this transition, open innovation become even more important to me, because I might I might not know about everything, but I know Hugo and he knows a lot of things. So, connecting to people that really knows uh, became even more important. So when I
Nice.
really remember, after one of the meetings we had at the first CDC summit, AI summit, and we were in the call discussing the call for papers. Hugo were there, and he was talking a lot of things up with the guys, and and I was, whoa, I end up learning from that. I was not able to take decisions and all that, but connecting to people that really know and assigning them to the specific tracks and content, it was really strategic, because we cannot handle all the topics anyway. So
Yeah,
open innovation became even more important when I decided to go to business.
That's
cool.
great.
Yeah, that's
It's a
amazing.
teamwork, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. Let me ask here about just focusing on the people that is watching us, that are many of them are developers, and they are willing to know more how to grow in their careers, how to actually get the next step. What do you think? How people, developers, can actually go to conference and grow in their career, or actually how conferences or specifically TDC can help developers actually grow in their career? What do you think it's the most important thing that people can learn from going in conferences?
Yeah, that's a tricky question, right? I really believe people is the most important we have in anything, especially in conferences. But that depends very much in which phase on your career you are. So
Mhm.
beginners in general, they go to conferences and they target very much content, and that's the moment for content, for seeing paths and learning and increasing their vocabulary and so on. In another phase, people would go for practical activities and use that moment. Today uh, it's very unlikely you are going to do in-person training. Most people will do online training, asynchronous training, and so on. So when you go to the conference, you go back to the classroom and you do the workshop, and it's in person, and you interact with people. And more experienced developers, they get the best result from speaking to other developers and understanding the bottlenecks and the big changes and what are they using and the challenge they face, so on. So I believe for most people it's the mix between finding the right content for your career in that moment and interacting with people in the more practical sessions. It could be the workshops, it could be the community lounge, it could be the mentoring hub. So find ways to interact with people and listen and share your path and share your dreams and ask what they think, and uh, go deep and ask about career promotion, or things we cannot ask in an online forum or anything like that. So the best results come from interacting to people, but it's not very common that in the beginning people are ready to leverage this interaction to their careers in the first participation in the conference. So it takes a while, unless you are ready with an experienced person that introduce you to other people and make it easy to get to know other people, start conversation. So when you go as a group or you go with the team and other people already have these open doors, it's easier. Otherwise, it's common that people goes and stay with their friends, learn from the content, get the motivation, and this inspiration can make them grow.
Yeah, I found that little resistance when I went to my first edition of TDC. But after warming up, especially I was in the mentorship hub with Luis there, I felt much more comfortable after talking with the mentors and the mentees. It was very, very much easier to evolve and also to absorb everything that the event has to offer. So I
Yes.
totally understand you.
Yes, and
And
talking about Mentorship Hub. So Mentorship Hub is one of the innovations because it is not that old, so a few years old only. And what I like about TDC that TDC is always coming with a new idea. So it gives a space for new ideas to try out things. So I remember that my first participation was at the international edition because you had the courage or the idea to try it out how it is with an international audience with international speakers. So that was my first experience. And you later I think that you made some other experiences or tried out different thing. And what I would like to know, what about your new ideas, what you would like to try out, how you see this further development of in TDC too.
Tilia, I need to do a small correction here because that's the beauty of open innovation, right?
Mm,
In general, those are not my ideas, right? So, as the conference organizer, what I see is I must be prepared with processes
yeah,
to listen from community and being able to implement those ideas and fast test and see if they have traction or not. So, as the
mm,
conference manager, I am not in charge of having all the ideas. I am in charge of establishing this open process that allows people, makes them comfortable to share their ideas and make them brave enough to implement those ideas with our background, right? So
mhm,
I need people to bring the ideas and to be brave and have courage to execute them. So the mentoring hub was not my idea, and I didn't run the first thing, right? What I did was to listen about the mentoring process we have, establish those meetings, discuss with Bruno, with Paulo, with everyone that was doing the uh, speaker mentoring, and understand that what we could change and how we could make.
yeah,
And then I went to our production team and understand what I could do and all that. So I came back with what was possible from us to offer. So we offered the mentoring hub, and again, people that was brave enough to implement were them, right? Bruno, Karina, Paulo, and everyone, you and many other people that were there, and with possibly failure, right? Maybe nobody would show up. Maybe the mentoring was too short. Maybe the noisy was too loud. So as the conference organizer, to be able to bring a bright future with
yes,
transformation and innovation, I must be prepared to listen and implement and react to possible failures or enhancement and all that. So
mhm,
that's my vision, right? I do not expect to have the next great idea. I expect to be prepared to uh, accept and execute those ideas and to give the background people need to be able to try, right?
Mhm.
So in case it's successful, that's fine. In case it's not, I will be here and we'll do the best. We'll run to fix. We'll do something. So count on me. But it's not my project alone, right?
Mhm.
So that's the thing. So we you know the community lounge is something we are always working on. Now we are working more on the open events with all the headphones and experience that. And I want to bring more challenge based workshops. So this is something we couldn't implement at this edition, but more challenges where we can offer little prizes or things that makes people to try and to learn based on a challenge and not by a workshop. So this is something I believe and I want to bring for TDC. We are also working on models to allow us to plug TDC stages in bigger conference. So maybe one day we'll have a TDC stage inside Java One, right? So that's this large Java One, and we can do a TDC stage inside Java One. That it's something we are building in conferences here. We are also working on a business model to allow developer entrepreneurs to run their own TDCs in their cities. So this license model is something we are really looking forward. So we already have the first TDC Porto Alegre, that is an independent event run by that company and those people. So um, lots of plans, but
Yes, thank you very much for the explanation. So I know I understand much better what you mean by open innovation. So thank you, Yara.
my pleasure, Celia.
Yeah, we have a comment here from Andres, and I think it's interesting because it covers maybe lots of other people that willing to go to the events. And he said here it's hard to go to conference because I'm there and I have issues interacting. And he said later because he's too shy, so that's why he wants to go to places where he know people. For these people that is too shy to interact with others, what you can recommend to them? And
I think looking for uh, activities that are more interactive, it's nice, right? So if you go to the mentoring hub, you will interact. There's no way you will just listen in that table and you will not interact with those people. So it's a very interactive place. If you go to community lounge, it's more likely you can interact because it's a small space, a small stage, 10 or 20 people. So it's a bit easier to interact and to ask. You can also challenge yourself, like, in 2 moments I will ask something for a strange. And once I gave a talk with my son at campus party when he was like 10 years old, and we were watching what's the name of that famous detective? Sherlock Holmes. We were watching Sherlock Holmes, and so I said, let's create something like, networking with Sherlock Holmes. What we can learn from Sherlock Holmes that would make it easier for you to do networking, right? So I always say when we look people, we find uh, reasons to interact, right? So, if people have a Java t-shirt and I cross them in the street, I will always, say something. No one will cross by me with the Java t-shirt and I would say nothing. If they come with the Java t-shirt, I would say, I love Java too, or something, right? If they come with the Beatles t-shirt, I will always say, no matter where I am, if I am in the market and someone cross with the Beatles t-shirt, I would say, I also love Beatles, right? So I think, you can give those reasons and go with these details and try to show a little bit more, or you can look for those details. So, if they have a t-shirt, it's a technology, and it's a way to start that conversation about something, right? Breaks are always good uh, for that. And it's another exercise, and it's hard to say because I am a very interactive person, and I am practicing that for many years. But I would say challenge yourself. If you see an open discussion in a happy hour or something, make the try to get on that place and say hello, how do you like the conference, or anything. Some people would think it's a little weird, but it's not, and most people would just answer and give a try. If you think the group is a little too much, you can look for other people that are always also alone, and to try that interaction, right? So if you see at TDC, we have the name of the track in the badge. So one interaction I always do is, "Whoa, you are on the data engineer track. How were it? I was in the Java track, but I'm curious to know how was the data engineer track. What they are discussing there, right?" So this is another way to start the conversation and give the responsibility for the other person to keep something, right? And then you can challenge yourself, like, I'll do that 3 times, and then I go away from that person, and that's it, right?
Cool. And wow, that's a amazing tip. It's new for me.
It's an exercise, right? As the
Yes.
more you practice the social ability, the better you get at it. I can tell by myself, I was very shy lots of years ago. So I was in events from things that I liked, hobbies that I liked, and I started reaching out to people. But I was shy at the beginning. It's natural. But the way you start getting used to that and talking more to people each event every day, you get more used to it. It starts to become natural. I remember Hugo say that a word for me on the first live session that I joined here on the Out of the Box. It sounds so natural. It was because I was practicing this for many years. And then I was getting ready to join into that session here. So my suggestion to you, Andres, it's just to start. And if you're looking to start at TDC, just let us know so we will join with you there on that edition.
Cool.
Yes, and he's telling that he's not even able to say hi to someone with the Uruguayan t-shirt in Peru, and he's from Uruguay. So another thing is to make questions, right? So instead of starting a conversation, the first thing would be, I will make 3 questions for 3 people, like, do you know where is the Java track? Or useful questions, just to start, right? And to practice that. But when you go to bigger conferences, um, it's another thing that works is to try to ask a question for the speaker, right? So that's more natural. That's not a bubble invasion or anything like that. It's a little bit more natural. But another thing that is easier is after, when you are sit close to another person, in the end of the talk, you can try to make a comment on the talk, or did he tell his LinkedIn or something? I'm looking for here on the phone. Did you remember if he mentioned the LinkedIn? So then it's on the contest and you are close by. You don't need to approach people. So for me, one challenge is to give the first step. So you need to stop by and start the conversation. when you are sitting after the talk, it's more natural because you are both there. It's easier sometimes. So
Cool. Yara, we are getting close to the end of the session, but I can't close this session without asking you about AI and the future of TDC. So we know you mentioned at the very beginning that we are in a transition moment. Development field is changing, and I'm curious. With all these changes we are having now, do you see some difference on the developers conference itself, and what do you foresee for these and future events, for people to have an idea. And
I thought a lot about what would change in the events regarding AI, and how we organize content, after the event, how we select content, what's the value of content, and all that's it's not really clear to me what would be the really big changes, because this is always small changes. But I believe our career, it's facing a huge change, and especially more experienced developers, some of them could deny a little bit. It doesn't work for my case. It will not work for big customers. It does not work. The code doesn't have enough quality, security issues, and that, and that, and that, and that, and that, and that. And we can find 100 reasons, right, for why not to deep dive AI. Right, I like to code, and I don't trust it, or my company doesn't pay for the license. My company have 5,000 developers; they will not pay $200 for each developer. We could list many problems or issues here, but I really believe that people that does not face that transition, embrace AI, and help companies on this transformation, will have very little space in the future market. So I'm not telling that will be replaced, right? I don't believe replacing people with technology, but I believe replacing tasks with technology and finding new tasks for humans, and transforming our career, and finding new ways to develop code, and so on. I remember very much, and I don't know if Pedro was from that phase or not, but I remember a day where using Eclipse or NetBeans was forbidden at in classroom. We would not allow people to use Eclipse or NetBeans, and we strongly believe in that moment that if they use, they would not learn how to uh, code, right? Because they had autocompletes, and
yeah.
this and that and that, and we believed that typing the code would be important for their journey, right? And so I really believe a developer will need to learn more and more from their around, from infrastructure, security, and a little bit of everything, to be able to use the maximum power of AI. So I'm not telling that you will not need to have more and more knowledge, but if you do not embrace, I see layoffs. I see people being replaced. I talk to dozens of heads and C levels and all that, and more people, they have AI associated with the performance review, with the hiring strategy, and so on. So I believe in knowledge. I believe in deep knowledge on performance, algorithms, and technologies, and patterns, and quality, and security, and so on. But I really believe every IT professional today should embrace AI and business, right? What are you working for? What is the problem you are solving? What are the real needs on functionality? And that's old, because the agile community brought that need to learn about people, users, customers, business, in 2008. So that's even older, right? That's old. But now more and more, I believe that exactly this moment we should embrace it and not wait too much. So it's time for upskilling everyone, and
Yeah.
that's not just because I want you to go to TDC Summit. Although I want you to go to TDC Summit, I think it will be very interesting. It's the third edition, and we bring real cases and people are using, and we see the progress from people. But in any way, you should people should test and put code in production and use the license and see the low quality code with your own eyes and see the challenges with your own eyes. Publish an app, or generate code and try to be entrepreneur for a while. I want to create an app for the gym, so create it. Test the technology. And I think now it's the deep dive time. So I
Yeah, it's also a
Excellent.
showcase, right? Because if you're entrepreneuring, creating something for you, you will learn how to leverage AI for yourself. You have something on your portfolio to show your skills, and if it also has potential as a business, you can start spreading your incomes, because it's not only your job and your career. You start having an app that you can sell to potential customers.
Yeah, and it's faster right now to
Yes.
create the minimum viable product and so on. It's faster and enhances your skills. So it's something we always did. Hello words, right?
Yeah.
I'm studying Spring. Let me create a crude
Hello.
hello word, and we would say create this app that do the four operations and test it and try to put in production and so on. But now we can go further, right? We can, with the same effort, create a more complex application and give a try. So uh, I think it's not easy time for us, because it's revolution time, and it's storming time, it's competing time. The tools are changing. People are trying to get the best opportunities, and world is running. And so if you have energy, I think it's a good time to run and to study and to deep dive and to test. If you don't have energy and you are facing a personal moment or so on, it's important to keep at least a small amount of time to not be behind too much, too behind, right? And try to at least catch up with the minimum, right? Learning how to use the tool that it's using in your company, and not being a stone, right? You don't want to be the one that does not allow the AI movement goes faster inside your company. So you don't need to be pushing the movement, but you should not be slowing the movement. If you have energy and you can be pushing the movement, best, the better, right? But at least you shouldn't be slowing down the business that you are working for, that for sure wants to be transformed by AI. So
That's interesting. So yeah, I think we have at least 1 minute for a last comment here. I just wanted to say that you've impacted many lives through TDC and tech communities, especially the Java community. I know that you have this special connect with the Java community. So my question for you is, how was it for you when you were nominated as a Java champion?
Well, it was amazing. So the Java career for me, it was so 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 special, and we had the opportunity to speak in many conferences, and this opened lots of doors for me to be speaker in many conferences. For a little while, Oracle, and we had the support, traveling support when we had talks. So that was amazing. When I have had a talk approved at Devox, they would pay my expenses, and that allow us to travel more. Being connected with other Java champions was also very special, and you know being a Java champion was, we had many things that makes us study a lot more. So, being a Java 1 rock star, when you have the talk that it's evaluated very well in the best talks at Java 1, the Duke Choice Award, when you have this great project. So we won twice the Duke Choice Award, and also being a Java champion. All that was so amazing and inspirational, and brought energy to study and to do more and to grow. So I really love all these opportunities, and I think much from what I see today, when I see the most important thing at TDC is the people, comes from that, right? Because all this, it's like recognizing the talent from others, and bringing and using the community power to give visibility to talent. And I think that was very important to everything I build today. You know, not only because I was recognized, but because uh, I lived in this space where it was important to recognize people.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, to not let any question on the chat behind. Let's from Andres. If I think I know the answer, but do you imagine AI agents giving talk sometime in the future? I don't, but someone will experiment at some point.
Yes, if we see Notebook LM today, and you put all your knowledge, your files there, and you ask them to generate a talk, they will. It will. So, in some way, all these video generations and so on, it's already a bit of that. I believe in extreme personalization, right? When, some people, I cannot handle when people say, in the final, in the end, right? I cannot watch talks when people say and I am, come on, I feel bad for you that you cannot, just erase that. I don't even listen. I focus on what's more important, and it seems my brain delete that. But lots of people are more sensitive to details. They speak too slow. I cannot concentrate. I don't like their voice. I cannot concentrate, and things like that. So, in the learning perspective, I believe, yes, we'll have lots of AI generated content, and maybe we'll have this in the conference in the future, right? But again, the most important in the conference is not about the content, and in the AI era, it will be less and less important, because content is there, it's tailored for you, it's super personalized for your needs, but people are not. And people, after talks and all this engaging and the mentoring and all that, um, will be the most important. And as more as we interface with machines, we'll have pleasure to interface with people, right? So
Exactly.
each
You
one
can
in their
use, yeah,
dosage.
you can use AI to help you prepare to polish your content, but the ability of connecting to people, to emotions, to look into the eye of the people that is in front of you, I'm sorry, AI agent will never do that. Or
Exactly.
and when they do have it, we will be death for sure, because Skynet will have dominated everything. So we will not need to code anything. So that's the key. The human thing is that made us to move, to go there, and you express yourself. You can use AI to help at your work, to help you prepare your content, but the connection is up to you, shy guy. So let's do it.
So, superb way to close the session today. Yara, once again, thanks a lot for accepting our invitation. Thanks a lot for being here. I know we are close to the TDC Summit event. It's on April 23, 24. So I know that you have a lot on the backlog these days, right? It's less than 1 month. So I know that's a rush for you. And so that's it. I really appreciate this conversation today, having you here, talking your experience, sharing your experience with everyone. And thanks for everyone that is watching us. I hope you enjoyed the session. And I hope to see some of you on the TDC this year. So thanks
Yeah,
a lot.
absolutely.
Thanks
Thanks a
everyone
lot,
here.
Yada. It was a pleasure, Yada, to have you here. Great conversation, by the way.
My pleasure. Thank you, all my friends, for everything you have done for community, for careers, and keeping this spirit alive. So thank you very much. See you at TDC.
See
Thank you.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. See you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Take
Bye
care,
bye. See you.
guys. See you next time.
Bye.